The snow right in here, and then we'll turn it on over. Warmer air will move in from the southeast. It's going to be one big mess here in the northeast. Dew point temperature, Boston 1. New York 7. This is some very dry air initially until those east winds blow in off of the Atlantic Ocean. That'll warm you up and change snow to rain by afternoon rush hour in New York City and Philadelphia. Then we head south to the tropical air. Dew point temperatures in the 60s. And as another upper level disturbance from Texas moves east, bang, north, and the ice for Detroit, Jackson, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids. Rain and thunderstorms to the south. We'll have a look at morning winds in the morning, northwest suburbs of Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia. And then we work north of the Lehigh Valley, and you could be all the way to the coast. I'm talking New York City. I'm talking Long Island, snow for morning rush hour. Boston, nothing for morning rush hour, then snow. And up here, I-87, I-81, ooh, the Mohawk Valley. We could have ourselves an ice storm, the likes of which is taking place right now on I-94 from Detroit west all the way across the state. Wintry weather moving in on the north side of a complex storm system that's putting down some heavy rain, and a tornado watch is in effect for the Atlanta metropolitan area. Stay tuned to the Weather Channel. We'll show you radar here coming up momentarily.
Huge feed of moisture coming right up out of the Gulf of Mexico, right up into parts of Alabama and Georgia. And that is the main area of severe weather where you see the red and the yellow shading there. Those are the heaviest downpours with some of these thunderstorms. But I want you to also notice there is another line of showers and storms off here to the west in Mississippi and on up into West Tennessee. Something we'll have to keep our eyes on. But the only severe weather watch...
Less surface low reflection up here in right around Council Bluffs. But it's a moisture convergence plus some vorticity aloft, some upper level disturbance that's helping to kick off the showers. Even back in behind our heavy weather that's west of Atlanta right now and down to the Florida Panhandle. This front still has some low level moisture, but not much in the way of upper level dynamics, so no showers are falling, or if they are, they're very light. But I'll tell you what, the difference in temperature across that front is very, very significant. We are in the 60s here in Dallas, and we are in the teens in Denver. 19 degrees right now with snow in Denver. Last night at this time it was 55, and it was about 60 in Kansas City. It's now in the 30s. So once this cold front moves on through, it's going to get very, very, very chilly all the way down into Dallas, Houston, New Orleans, and Pensacola, Florida. By the way, as this cold front heads toward the East Coast tomorrow, we're going to see some thunderstorms, the likes of which we're having tonight. Watch it, middle Georgia and the eastern two-thirds of the Carolinas up toward Norfolk, Virginia. There will be some thunder showers. We're moistening up the air, warming it up here in the southeast part of the country, and then with any sunshine at all tomorrow, that'll destabilize things. This cold front moves through and bang. All right, so keep abreast of that. We're hanging on to some dry air here in the northeast, but how long is that going to last? Not long. Snow moving into the Monongahela Valley here in the morning. Eventually into the Hudson River Valley. That'll be snow to start off. Are you ready for some snow in New York City for morning rush hour? But it's 36 degrees also in Newark, New Jersey. Will it be rain here? No, at least not for starters. It's a humid 36, relatively speaking. As the rain falls, it won't cool us down, maybe another degree. It'll stay rain. But here it's a dry 36, so the precipitation will start out as snow in Newark, New Jersey for morning rush hour. Same in New York City, then change over to rain. Get ready. Winter storm watch in effect for the New York City metropolitan area. Winter storm warning off to the north. We'll check Florida.
Northern Ohio, lower Michigan. It is just a skating rink out there, folks. And we've got an out-and-out blizzard going on in parts of Wisconsin, central and northern Wisconsin and upper Michigan, and even back into eastern areas of Minnesota. Snow and blowing snow. I got to tell you, folks, there's actually two storms that are kind of merging together here now, and it's got a little bit of everything. We'll talk a little bit more about
some current freezing rain falling around Toledo, on even toward Detroit, maybe around Adrian, Michigan, too, in the southern part there. Coldwater, Colon, Three Rivers, Sturgis, all those areas. You will see some additional freezing rain tonight. We're watching this very closely. Rain to the south of this, pretty much around Indianapolis on southward, but around Fort Wayne, South Bend, you have a little bit of freezing rain there. Still, a bit of heavy rain to fall throughout the night. We'll keep you posted as to what can happen with this, as we see also some additional flooding potential into parts of Ohio and stretching back through Kentucky and a section of Tennessee. Well, it is a good evening in some parts of the country. We'll see how your good day. The northern, or the southern sections, I'm trying to say, still a few clouds stuck there. Now, in, of course, that hemisphere, things are reversed. The other hemisphere, the warmest of air, is way to the northland across the southern parts. That's where we usually encounter cooler weather. Remember, the Antarctic is just beneath it there, so that's where the cold spot is for there. So cruising up to the north, you're seeing warm temps here, the warmest of temps here to the coast along the northwest, and some temperatures in parts of central Australia stay pretty warm too, especially in the outback. Saturday afternoon's forecast, even looking a little further out, Singapore with some clouds and 86. Of course, the equator up here keeps some clouds and precipitation up there as well. For Australia, specifically for Perth, 86 and some 70s, even around Sydney. And again, a bit cooler there. 80s, though, as look toward the north coast of Australia. Coming up on the Weather Channel, we'll show you where the active weather happens to be popping right now and where it's headed next on the Radar Update.
Nothing, nothing, nothing.
They will be here.
I don't see anything.
The guidebook says this is the place.
Whose idea was this?
Introducing Chevy Venture, the minivan with the widest dual sliding doors.
So where are they?
Slipping in and out has never been so easy.
Honey, maybe we ought to go further down.
Let's go.
The all-new Chevy Venture is here.
Let's go. Let's go.
This is obviously not the spot.
All right, let's stop it out here.
The coffee perking in this spot is America's best-loved coffee.
Clouds just rotated in, and it looks like we're going to be under that cloud deck at least through the first part of Saturday, so don't count on seeing any sunshine tomorrow. U.S. radar is picking up much of the eastern half of the country, getting ready for either snow, sleet, or rain. Heavy rains down along the Gulf Coast. The little purple area here is freezing rain and sleet. The freezing rain back in southern portions of Wisconsin, and then a lot of snow, possibly heavy snow from Cleveland all the way to Erie. Now, if we take a look at Fox Doppler radar, you will notice that it looks like it's snowing in Philadelphia right now. That's not accurate. It's actually falling through dry air, so it's evaporating before it reaches the ground. Our first shot of snow is right here down in Garrett County, Maryland. It's going to move up to the northeast, and the snow is going to fall at a good pace, and it's going to accumulate quickly as well. Here's what I think is going to happen. These are maximum amounts of snowfall here in Philadelphia. In the city, about an inch by tomorrow morning, right before the rush hour, maybe 2 inches in the northern and western suburbs, 2 to 4 inches from points north and west of that, and as you head from Harrisburg arcing back into the Poconos, maybe 4, 5, or 6 inches. Then at about 7 to 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, we are going to warm up and see all our snow change to rain, and some of the rain will be heavy over the city. The further you move off to the north and west, sleet and snow will change over to rain, so I don't think you're going to have to shovel. We're just going to have rain, sleet, and snow on the ground during the rush hour tomorrow. It's going to make it slow, and in some places, it's going to make it slick. Now, good thing, though, that this warm front is ahead of the storm system, because watch, we have the snow here, warm front moves in, that means rain showers for us the rest of the day tomorrow. If that low pressure center tracked a little further to the east, we'd be seeing a lot of snow in the city. High pressure will move in back behind it, giving us some sunshine on Saturday and much cooler air on Sunday. Let's take a look at my forecast for tonight. Snow developing, mixing with sleet. Low temperature down to 31 degrees, east winds at 5 to 10. And then for tomorrow, snow to sleet to rain very quickly in the morning hours with a high temperature of 50, south winds at 8 to 15. And then for tomorrow night, the rain will be ending with a low down to 44. Along the shoreline, we'll hit a high temperature of 51. A winter storm warnings in effect in the Poconos for the high temperature of 42 degrees tomorrow. 5-day forecast shows a little bit of sunshine on Saturday with a high of 57. Sunday will get up to 42. Monday, partly sunny, 50. Mostly cloudy on Tuesday with a high of 54. Here's my Fox ski report for
tomorrow are going to be very tough, especially if you're coming in or commuting from western or northern sections down toward the city. It is going to be a difficult ride. Early morning hours, an icy mix of snow along as you move inland, changing over to freezing rain and sleet. And by after the noon hours, we should be looking at rain throughout. Probably get a little bit of a dry period in here, then it comes back with a vengeance after 7 o'clock tonight. Could be a lot of rain falling. 5-day forecast shapes up like this. We're looking at a very tough day for tomorrow. Icy mix likely and dangerous icing I expect on the roadways early on. Windy conditions for Saturday with some clearing. Sunday should be a bright sunny day, but a bit on the cool side. Ernie, Brenda?
6 to 12 inches possible in this range on through the noon hours tomorrow. Heaviest for northern Michigan, and right through here, a part of New York State could see some very significant snow as this eventually does push your direction. Here's what's happening now. A bit of rain back around Pittsburgh, but we could have some additional precipitation moving in, and New York City expect to see kind of a mess of frozen precipitation, eventually all rain. In Boston, Hartford, you should have kind of a mix of things as well, but looks like a little more snow pushing in during the mid-morning hours or so into Boston, some snow there, and kind of a frozen mess possible for Hartford and Providence and Boston as well. Currently here we see the heaviest of rains here in the central parts of Indiana and also down toward the south. Dew points are very juicy in this area. That's why they have the fuel to cause the rains here and the storms across parts of the south. Our weather watches tonight, a tornado watch in effect for this section. The picture again, still icy to the north. Look at the scattered precip of the west, very quiet compared to about the snow north of here. Freezing rain in this region down into central parts of Indiana. The heaviest of rains there and more heavy rain down in sections of the south. Again, more details in moments on the Weather Channel. Here's where we expect kind of a mix of precipitation in the New York City area, eventually some more rain and a little more snow as we push on to the north of this region. Rainy travel, there's the rainiest of spots with heavy rains for parts of Indiana, Ohio, all the way down toward Mississippi. Of course, there's a tornado watch in effect for parts of Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. Stronger weather pushing on toward the east as the day moves on tomorrow. Kind of windy in the middle country. Weather Scope next.
At Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough. The Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus Michelin confidence in most driving conditions. It has to, because the way we see it, you don't just cover a lot of miles, you cover a lot of weather. The Michelin X1.
Find Michelin tires at this dealer near you, because so much is riding on your tires.
Ahead on Weather Scope, the southeast gets a dose of heavy rain. Is there a potential for severe weather in the region? The latest coming up on Weather Scope after your local forecast.
This is your local forecast. Weather information you can plan on, only on the Weather Channel.
Is NBC 10. Now, Live from the News Center, this is News 10 at 11.
Is developing, and it's poised to put the brakes on your morning commute.
Let's go right now to our News 10 meteorologist, John Balaris, in the Earthwatch Weather Center. John, what's it going to be?
Yeah, Art and Renee, I got a mixed bag of weather moving this way. Let's go right to radar. You can see it. It's beginning to move in from the south and west. It is snowing, but it's snowing aloft right now. It's not reaching the ground, but there's a whole lot of precipitation that's going to be with us beginning during the overnight hours and during the day tomorrow. How much? In the way of, that's a very pretty shot, but that's not what we need. Okay, we got no accumulations by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning down the shore, central southern Delaware. Just a coating in and around the city by 7 a.m. We're looking at 1 to 3 Lehigh Valley by 7 a.m. and 3 to 4 inches of snow in the Poconos by 7 a.m. The rest of your day, I'll give you that for your Friday and the remainder of your weekend in just a little bit. Renee and Art.
All right there, John. Well, for overnight developments on the storm watch, tune in to News 10 extra early tomorrow morning. News 10 today starts at...
Fair weather-wise?
What about it, John?
Little bit is the key word. Looking at the latest computer information, and I'm not too worried about this one, folks. Looks like the brunt of this will be rain, and the brunt of the precipitation will fall during the afternoon and evening, so I think we're going to get off a little bit lucky. Let's check it out for you this hour and see one of our weather nets at Temple University. The key thing to look at here, 37 degrees above the freezing mark at 11 o'clock. That's good news for your morning commute. The low officially at Temple, 26, pressure falling, humidity 52%. All righty, let's check it out for you. The official high today at the airport, 44, official low, 28. No biggie in this storm, folks. Temperatures, look at them, in the 30s to around 40 everywhere you look, above the freezing mark, except in the Poconos where we want it to snow. We like snow in the Poconos. All right, check out the radar. You can see precipitation waiting into the wings to the west, but still a long way to go. We're getting some light stuff over us now. It's not reaching the ground just yet, but it will be over the next couple of hours. You're getting a little drizzle down in southern Jersey. And most of this stuff is going to be mainly liquid, a little sleet, a little snow overnight, but I'm not looking at any type of accumulations in and around the city. We pull back, and there's the cold Arctic air. Say bye-bye to that and say hello to the bad guy bubbling up in the Gulf states. This is going to be a wicked one, but it's going to be loaded with rain, not snow, as this storm system heads towards the Great Lakes. Let's put it into motion 1 a.m. tonight. Some of the snow sleet will develop. But as temperatures begin to rise, because the storm is heading this way towards the Great Lakes, you get a southeast wind. That will mean a warm weather wind in off the ocean. So temperatures will not get below the freezing mark tonight. A little mixed precipitation overnight. Oh, yeah, there could be a few slick spots tomorrow morning, mainly north and west of the city. From the city point south, it will be mainly wet. And then heavy windswept rains in the afternoon as that storm system surges towards the Great Lakes. Floods may be the problem by tomorrow evening. Not snow. Your forecast for tonight. Mixed snow, sleet, and rain developing, 30 to 35. Tomorrow morning, there could be a mix for a while, and then rain. I tell you, rain heavy at times, and we're looking at maybe some slick spots north and west. Temperatures rising through the 40s into the 50s and beyond. 5 days.
Be a messy commute to work in the morning. Here's Dave Roberts and AccuWeather.
We're starting to get reports from some areas now. A little snow, a little sleet is starting to move into some sections in the far northern and western portions of our viewing area, where temperatures are a little bit colder than they are in the immediate area. Take a look at Action Radar. Here's the updated picture now. It is a huge system. It's kind of breaking apart in some sections, but there is plenty of moisture with it. Most of it not reaching the ground yet, except, as we said, in some of those far northern and western areas. Break that down for you, and you'll see the mix here. There, the blue line indicating the mix, the snow and the sleet and the rain, and of course the white on top of that is the snow and all of the rain to the south. That's the system we have to contend with, and there it is in the process of moving through. Now the storm center itself is through Indiana and Ohio. All of the moisture just coming up in this fashion. So the real heavy stuff we expect to stay to the west, but we're going to get a good soaking out of this system and the possibility of picking up an inch of rain. We expect the changeover to come very quickly, about 1 or 2 in the morning for it to start, and then by rush hour in the morning, 8, 9 o'clock, we expect it all to be rain. But that in-between period there, some folks are going to have to deal with possibility of some ice in the morning in some sections. You'll see it in the 5-day. Call from AccuWeather as we have a windswept soaker on the way. 29 in the Poconos, 33 in Allentown. Our low, 28 degrees. Our high, 44 degrees, 253 this afternoon. Take a look at the 11 o'clock numbers now. Present temperature reading is
March 13th, 1993. Remember that year? It's a quiz. This is a trick question. Present temperature reading is 38 degrees. Relative humidity 48%. The barometer 30.44. It is falling. Winds picking up out of the east, 6 miles an hour. Ocean water temperature 42 degrees. In the northeast, 36, 37 outside the station, 38 for Center City and the airport in Camden. Okay, here it is. The call from AccuWeather, the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. That late mix of snow, sleet, and some rain. Overnight low 28 to 32. Some areas starting to get a little bit of this right now. We look for rush hour in the morning. Some areas to be icy in spots, especially if you're coming from the suburban areas into the city. Those suburban areas will be icy. We expect to change over to all rain early in the morning, 30 to 32. Before it's all over with, could get an inch of rain. Windy conditions tomorrow, high of only 50 degrees. It moves out tomorrow night. On Saturday, windy clearing 50, 46. Sunday looks good, but it's colder, 44, 48. Of course, Dave Franklin and crew will be here very early in the morning to have the very latest as we continue to track this messy system heading in our direction. 5 o'clock in the morning. Yes, sir. Still to come.
This is WeatherScope.
Severe weather in the southeast at this hour with a tornado touching down in Columbus, Georgia. Hello, I'm Gene Rubin. We'll have the details.
And I'm Dave Schwartz. It's part of a larger system that is spreading rain and snow across much of the Midwest and East. In the upper Midwest tonight, the problem is snow and ice, and lots of it, too. Places such as Duluth, Minnesota, are coping with another snowy punch. What a winter it's been here. It started out about the time you were leaving for work this morning, the snow that is, and it's been coming down all day. Temperature's been running in the 20s, and the wind has been blowing around here too, so folks are bundling up. Boy, oh boy, this isn't file film. This is what is happening today here in Duluth. Ooch. There's our storm, there's our snowstorm, and this is our rain and ice storm. Look at that thing heading out of Texas. That's the one that put down all the rain in Houston yesterday, record rains. 4 1/4 inches of rain. That storm is now out of here, but it's into here. So far, flood watches are in effect in the Ohio Valley, but we haven't seen the copious amounts of rainfall that we have here. And this storm is on the move, even though slowly. By this time tomorrow night, virtually all the rain will be out of the Ohio Valley entirely, but it'll be replaced by some cold air. So get ready for that. Look at the green, by golly. St. Patrick's Day coming up west of the Mississippi River. It is virtually quiet. A few reports of some hail and rain in Washington State. Gene will have that story in just a minute. But we've got a line of thunder showers here, and then we've got the cold rain and the ice here in the upper Midwest and the parts of the Ohio Valley. This is all ice here. This is rain falling into temperatures running 27 to 30. In behind it, well, we find the heavy snow, and in the state of Wisconsin, 1 to 1.5 feet of snow have already been reported. It is a very, very rough go in America's Dairyland. I watch it on Interstate 94 from Detroit westward to Harbor Country on Lake Michigan. Fortunately, some warmer air, slightly warmer air, will move north, and by morning rush hour in Jackson, Benton Harbor, LaPorte, Toledo, and Detroit, it'll all just be a cold rain with temperatures running in the middle 30s. Then once this area of low pressure moves on by, you'll get in on some snow showers and snow flurries. Matter of fact, the snow flurries are not too far away from the Quad Cities right now. You might be seeing a few rain showers or snow flurries here at the present time. And snow will greet you for morning rush hour in Chi-Town, but so will a lot of wind too. We don't expect any major traveling problems in Chicago. But further south, boy, I'll tell you, from Atlanta southward to Tallahassee, a tornado watch remains still in effect. One tornado reported right here in Muskogee County. That is Columbus, Georgia. Now another line of thunderstorms, and this is some very heavy rain. You talk about training. Look how much rain we're getting here in South Cobb County. Huh? These thunderstorms are just moving from south to north, and here looks like some, ooh, right through Columbus again. There may have been some damaging winds. Those are headed toward LaGrange and perhaps toward Conyers if it survives that long. Athens getting in on some rain too. So we've got some active weather. Look at all of that. In the Northeast, you're dry for now. In the West, we are dry for now. Gino?
Thanks, Dave. The western half of the country is enjoying relatively tame weather today as compared to what's happening in the eastern part of the nation. On the current satellite map, we'll see what's going on in the western part of the nation right now, and that'll tell us just how quiet it is. There's a big storm system, well, I hate to use the word big, but a storm system out in the Pacific Ocean that will bring some precipitation to Oregon, Northern California. We'll show you that in your forecast in a moment. But the rest of the west is pretty calm. See this curve of clouds? That's the edge of some more cold Arctic air plunging off to the south over the next couple of days, and we'll see that in your forecast again coming up in a moment. The weather map in the west is very calm. Here comes that second blast, the second surge of cold Arctic air. Already wind chills 5 to 10 below zero in Denver. It's going to get even colder as this new front comes through behind this front. Boy, wind chills 30 to 40 below zero, but it is very quiet. It is very calm as you move back to the western half of the country. As we look at the amount of snow that could fall again from now till noon, heaviest snows in the Cascades of Oregon, about 6 to 12 inches, and good news for you skiers here in Colorado and Wyoming, from Jackson Hole to Vail to Steamboat Springs to Aspen, maybe another half a foot of fresh powder. Temperature is pretty chilly, 2 below zero. The actual air temperature in Cut Bank, 19 in Denver, but it feels like 0. 25 below the wind chill in Williston, 27 in Pierre, 37, that's what it feels like in the city of Seattle. Here's what the weather map looks like around the country now. What's going to happen? Let's look into the future, and here's Dave to tell us about the future.
Thank you, Gene, my friend. As we switch on over, we find where this cold front is heading. Do a little switch. Oh, we'll take this. All right, that's fine. Area low pressure headed for Detroit with some slightly warmer air. But then in behind it, there's the cold air, and there'll be nothing but snow flying from the upper peninsula of Michigan back through Wisconsin. Just a little parting shot. Huh? And in the Twin Cities, what snow we have, there might be another inch or two. It'll just be blowing around. And the transition has been made here in Denver. What a... Yesterday 71, tonight 20 and snowing. Unbelievable. And this cold front's going to be heading east too. It'll take the rain out of the Ohio River Valley, lessening the threat for more flooding. But as the cold front heads toward the east coast, another round of severe weather is a possibility. As it warms up, if you get any sunshine here east of the mountains, as this cold front slices in, it's going to undercut that warm air, forcing it up. A little bit of help from the upper levels too. And here in Florida, upper 70s to low 80s with the cold front approaching, the threat for severe weather: Orlando, Tampa, Miami, Jacksonville, and Daytona Beach. That's a look at Friday with that cold air plunging southward into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. But how far will it get? Gene?
Dave mentioned that yesterday it was 70 in Denver. Today it's 19 right now with a wind chill of 6 or 7 below zero. On Saturday, Friday and Saturday, still staying pretty cool. Cool temperatures all the way to Atlanta, Georgia. And Dallas, Texas, only in the 50s. You should be in the 70s in Dallas, and the mid-60s at least in Atlanta. Will be a cool beginning to the weekend. Temperatures in the 50s, but the windy weather is going to make it feel like it's in the 30s. So if you have any yard work to do, if you want to, let's say, do some rollerblading or play some golf, you might want to do it Sunday versus Saturday in Atlanta. It'll be less windy. It'll feel a little warmer. New York, Boston staying in the 40s much of the weekend, as you see here. But then we start the warming trend. Denver, look at that. By Sunday, you're back in the 70s after 2 or 3 days with chilly temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Atlanta warming back at least by Monday, the 60s again. Look at all these 80s in West Texas. 70s again, all the way up into the Nebraska Panhandle. 90s expand in parts of Southern California from Palm Springs into the deserts of Arizona. It starts to warm up just slightly in the nation's capital, well in the 50s, but New York and Boston staying in the 40s on Monday. As we look at the precipitation, our first Tuesday, finally Boston maybe edges up to 50 on Tuesday, but some chilly weather in the northeast. 60s up to Montana, where wind chills right now are 30 below zero. So big change taking place. All right, snow squalls around the Great Lakes Saturday, that windy weather in the southeast, wet weather in the northwest, spreads into the Rockies by Sunday. Look at how nice and dry it gets as we look at Sunday. And Monday, around much of the country, things are pretty dry. The one big exception is in the Pacific Northwest, but otherwise things are looking pretty good if we get by the next 36 hours or so, Dave.
A rough time, especially in the Northeast, as that snow and ice is headed their way.
We'll be back with your international weather coming up right after this break. Stay with us.
Bye.